What if the financial advice you followed your entire life, go to school, get a good job, buy a house, what if it's all just a trap? Today, we're not just going to summarize Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Nope. We are going to reverse engineer its core systems, the specific blueprints that are designed to take you from an employee to an owner. All right, let's get into it.
So let's just start with a question that gets right to the heart of this entire book. We're all told our home is our biggest investment, right? But what if that's a flat-out lie? What if the very thing you think is building your wealth is actually the anchor that's holding you down financially? This is exactly the kind of dangerous assumption Rich Dad, Poor Dad just shatters from page 1. And this right here shows you the reality of the traditional path. Before you even pay for your own food, your own roof, or anything for your family, the first chunk of your hard work goes straight to your employer, the government, and the bank. Following the standard script means you spend the best years of your life making everyone else rich before you even start to work for yourself.
So the whole book is built around this simple but absolutely brilliant story. Kiyosaki's two fathers. One was his biological dad, highly educated but always struggled with money. That was his poor dad. The other was his best friend's father, a school dropout who became a mega wealthy entrepreneur, his rich dad. And this setup gave him a front-row seat to two completely opposing financial philosophies.
Just look at the difference here on this slide. It's night and day. Poor dad's mindset, it's a closed door. I can't afford it is a full stop. It just shuts your brain down. But rich dad's mindset is like an open field. How can I afford it is a question. It's a command that forces your mind to start looking for solutions and creating possibilities. So, which one are you using every day?
And this quote just nails the core lesson from Rich Dad. Being broke? Well, that's a temporary condition of your bank account. We've all been there. But being poor? That's a permanent mindset. He argued that wealth isn't really about how much money you have right now. It's all about the thoughts you choose to adopt about money and your ability to create.
Okay, so we've boiled the book down into a three-part blueprint. First, we're going to cover the core formula for wealth. Second, the psychological trap that keeps most people stuck. And third, the action plan to actually build your financial freedom. Let's kick things off with System 1.
All right, System 1. This is the foundation. And I mean it. If you don't get this part, nothing else we talk about is going to matter. It's all about rewiring your brain to see money not as the goal, but as a tool. And it all starts with two incredibly simple words. That's it. Seriously, forget all the complicated, jargon-filled definitions you'd get in a textbook. Kiyosaki's rule is just ruthlessly simple. An asset feeds you, a liability eats what you earn. The direction the cash is flowing is the only thing that matters. If it puts money in your pocket, it's an asset. If it takes money out, it's a liability. It's that simple. So with that new definition locked in, let's look at the financial story of most people. Your income from a job flows in, and then it immediately flows right back out to pay for taxes, a mortgage, car loans, credit cards. It's money in, money out. There's no engine for growth, it's just a treadmill of earning to spend. Now contrast that with the cash flow of the rich. It's a completely different system. They use their income to buy assets, things like real estate, stocks, businesses. These assets then generate new income, which not only covers their expenses, but gets used to buy, you guessed it, more assets. It's this powerful, self-perpetuating wealth machine.
So here's the crucial point. It's not about earning more money. It's about what you do with the money you earn. The middle class buys things like bigger houses and newer cars, liabilities they've been tricked into believing are assets, and it traps them in this cycle of bigger and bigger expenses. The rich, on the other hand, they focus relentlessly on just one thing, acquiring income-producing assets.
Okay, so if the formula is really that simple, why isn't everyone rich? And that question brings us right to System 2, the invisible psychological prison that Kiyosaki calls the rat race.
The rat race. It's that endless loop of working for money. It's the life of most hardworking, educated people. They get up, they go to work, they pay their bills, and they do it all over again. But what they don't realize is that their lives are being controlled by two powerful, invisible emotions.
This is the engine of the rat race. See, it all starts with the fear of not being able to pay your bills. That fear makes you cling to your job for dear life. Then, the paycheck arrives and a whole different emotion takes over. Desire. You see all the cool things you can buy, so you spend. But once that money's gone, the fear comes rushing back, maybe even stronger than before, and it pushes you right back to work to start the whole cycle over again. So here's the real kicker. More money doesn't solve the problem. In fact, it often makes it worse because it just amplifies the fear and the desire. Escaping the rat race isn't about getting a raise. It's about mastering these emotions and learning to think with your head instead of reacting with your gut.
So, if the first system is the what and the second is the why, then this third system is the how. How do you actually put all this into practice and escape the rat race for good? Well, the answer is the single most important tactical shift in the entire book. You have to mind your own business.
Now, this is a massive mental shift, so really let this sink in. A doctor's profession is medicine, but that's not her business. An engineer's profession is building things, but that's not his business. Your profession is what you do from 9 to 5 to pay the bills. Your business is what you do from 5 to 9 to get rich. Minding your own business means you stop focusing on your paycheck and you start obsessing over your asset column.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? Your asset column isn't some vague idea. It's a portfolio of machines that print money for you while you sleep. We're talking about rental properties generating cash flow every single month, dividend-paying stocks that just deposit money into your account every quarter, even intellectual property, a book, a course, a patent that earns you royalties. The immediate, actionable goal is this. Use the income from your profession to buy just one of these, your first rental property, your first index fund. That one asset is your first real step out of the rat race because it starts an income stream that is not tied to your time.
Now, when you start to apply these 3 systems, something really profound starts to happen. It's way more than just a change to your bank account. It's a fundamental change to your identity. You stop thinking like an employee and you start thinking like an investor.
I mean, just look at this transformation. The employee is totally focused on their salary, their income statement. Their main question is always, how can I get a raise? But the investor, they focus on the asset column. Their question is, how can I acquire another asset? One works for money, the other makes money work for them. It's a complete 180 in your perspective.
And all of this leads to a brand new definition of wealth. Rich Dad taught that true wealth isn't a number in a bank account. It's not about being a millionaire. True wealth is measured in time. If you stopped working today, right now, how long could you survive? The answer to that question, that's your real wealth. The goal is to grow your assets until that answer is forever. So we'll leave you with this. The lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. They're not just theories. They are a direct challenge to you. And it all starts with acquiring your very first true asset. So the real question isn't just what you learned today, but what are you going to do with it? What is the first asset you will add to your business?